stories this place can tell. Some of the all-time greats have raced here. It's been a theatre for moments etched in the history pages. Located a stone's throw from the beach where the legend of Burt Munro began. A pioneer in the pursuit of speed, they now come from all round the world to celebrate. Invercargill is a mecca for motorcycles and so much more. Founded in the 1850s near the bottom of the South Island, parts of the Victorian character and Art Deco charm have been lovingly preserved while carefully weaving in stunning new developments. It's a gateway to wilderness areas like Stewart Island, a place of adventure. You can do some digging or be transported to another time and admire an amazing array of machines that did the heavy lifting. After 2 years away, we're back at Teretonga Park, the southernmost FIA spec circuit on planet Earth, a place that demands bravery and rewards commitment. Two qualities we saw in spades last weekend at the season opener. Some bright young stars are ready to write a new chapter as we welcome you to our coverage of round 2 of the Super Sprint Motorsport New Zealand Championship.
Welcome to the deep south of New Zealand for round 2 of the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship. Now, after round 1, we had 3 different winners from 3 races, but Charlie Wirtz of Austria was the most consistent. So it's Wirtz on top with 76, Morales just 2 points back, and Jacob Abel and Ryder Quinn tied for 3rd.
My name is Jacob Abel. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I'm 21 years old. I got into racing through my dad. He raced vintage cars as I was growing up, so I sort of grew up around the racetrack. And then my first go-kart race was actually a dirt oval go-kart race in southern Indiana. So we've come a long way from there. Switched into sprint kart racing. Did series like SCUSA, WK, USPKS, series like those in America. And then transitioned into F4 US Championship. In 2017 was my first year racing in that. Raced that for a couple of years before moving up to F3 at the time. Had some success there, a few race wins, a lot of podiums, as well as racing Indy Pro 2000. So I kind of bounced around at that level for a couple of years before in 2022 when I moved up to now Indy Next. So raced that last year and then plan on racing that in addition to the Toyota Racing Series for this coming year. The popularity of F1 in America is definitely positive. There's a saying, rising tide, raises all ships, right? So if Formula One racing is becoming more popular, things like, IndyCar, NASCAR, IMSA racing, other forms of motorsport in America, seem to kind of gain a little bit of that, growth as well. So it's been good. There's always been throughout history, a little bit of a lack of respect of American drivers, whether that's merited or not, we don't really know because there hasn't really been American drivers in Formula One, in the past few years. So hopefully, with guys like Logan Sargent, people like that, should be able to pave the way for more Americans in the future. To be able to come here and get basically a full season of racing in the off season is pretty spectacular. And there's no real replacement for racing. There's no substitute for real racing. Going out on a race weekend, doing qualifying races, going through that whole process. You can go to a track and test for 100 days, but you're not going to get the experience that you would from going to a racetrack and actually going through a race weekend and competing with other drivers. So one of the reasons that this will hopefully be very beneficial down here is I'm going to get a lot more experience than my competitors, hopefully. So I should turn up to St. Pete a little bit more with the rust knocked off.
Now, before we go racing, let's check out Teretonga Circuit with Andrew Waite.
Let's take a look at a lap around Teretonga Park. 2.57 kilometres of racetrack, lap record set by Greg Murphy with a 51.206. 8 corners around this track, very, very fast and flowing, one of the favourite tracks on the calendar. Let's have a look at a lap with Charlie Wirtz as he's heading down the straight, pulling gears up to 230 kilometres an hour. Looking for the entry, hard on the brakes, trying to work on getting off that brake to carry as much speed as you can into the corner. very, very long corner. When you're in the middle, it's hard to see where the exit is. Back on the gas, running right out to the exit. And then hard on the brakes again. Awkward braking zone as you need a bit of lock on, carrying the speed over the bumps. Then again, pulling gears through the S's, lining up the next braking zone here into the hairpin. Very, very hard to get the car stopped here. A little bit bank through here, so it allows you to carry a lot more speed than you think. Heading up towards Brickyard, already eyeing up the braking marker into the hairpin. Hard on the brakes, very important corner this, as you need to get the exit, as it's one of the longest straights in New Zealand. Pulling over to the left-hand side of the track, protecting yourself from the wind. Try get as quick a lap as you can, and that is a lap around Teretonga with Charlie Wirtz.
So the starting grid looks like this. Callum Hedge, as we mentioned, in pole position alongside him, Charlie Wirtz of Austria. Then comes Jacob Abel, Josh Mason, third and fourth position. Kiwis Motorsport looking good. James Penrose, already a winner, alongside fellow Kiwi, Liam Skeets in sixth. Then David Morales, he won the feature race last time out. Ryan Sheehan going forward from Austin, Texas. Ryder Quinns look good too. So has Chloe Chambers. They start 9th and 10th. Lucas Picori of Brazil and Thomas McClellan of Brisbane, Australia, 11th and 12th. Then comes Bree Morris in 13th position. Out go the lights, away we go! And a great start from Charlie Wirtz. Wirtz takes the whole shot, but will Callum Hedge come back at him? It's the run down to the loop. Wirtz has got the line. Can he cross over now and take the lead? Not if Hedge has anything to do with it. Good start. I mentioned the outside, and Wirtz is keeping his foot in and has done it. Great start. What a start.
Absolutely. Charlie did an amazing job there.
Whoa, somebody off on the grass there.
Everything managed to be gathered up okay there. It looks like everyone's...
Yeah, that was Chloe Chambers just touching the grass. She's okay. She's alongside McClellan. But that was superb by Charlie Wirtz, and he proved my point, didn't he?
Absolutely textbook. He had a bit of a wiggle on the outside there, but composed himself and managed to get the car back to the apex, and away he went.
Jacob Abel gets into third position in the 51. Penrose got a good start. Josh Mason right behind Abel, the Brit. Out of the elbow they come for the first time, and it is Charlie Wirtz leading the way and leading the championship. Callum Hedge didn't get the perfect start, and the pair of them already pulling away from Abel in third. Good clean start, and now we await to see if Callum Hedge will try to come back quickly, or does he just take his time now as they're both pulling away. You can see as they come out of the Repco loop, Charlie getting onto the dirt for a moment there. That's why you could see the dust flying up. So he was very wide through there. Saw an onboard of him earlier this weekend, and he loves to go wide outside of that loop. So it's Wirtz, Hedge, then Abel, Mason, Penrose 5th, Morales fighting for the championship lead. He's in 6th at the moment. Skeets, Quinn, Sheehan in 9th, McClellan 10th, Chambers drops to 11th, Picori and Morris. Out of the elbow. This is where Brendan was saying it's so important to get out. And nice to see it from above. You can see who's got it right, who's got it straight.
Yeah, absolutely. They've managed to settle into a bit of a rhythm here at the moment. The front two boys have already pulled themselves a nice gap of over 2 seconds to the second pack of cars there. And you can see Charlie's just trying to settle into a rhythm there and make it nice and tidy. And he'll be, I'm sure his heart rate's very high right now as he tries to get himself composed and try and pull a gap on Callum.
Wirtz needs a win. He knows that every race is important, and he hasn't had a win yet, and he's already built a 0.7 lead over Callum Hedge, and that's a lot around Teretonga, isn't it?
That's a big gap. Yeah, definitely Callum's out of the draft now, and it looks like he's got some good car speed too. So I think it's a very early stage of the race, but obviously another 23 laps to go. So let's see. Maybe Callum's tyres haven't come on yet, and maybe Charlie's have come on nice and early, but who knows?
How much of a draft can you get, and how much does the car wash out?
It's quite bad. It's quite good in terms of the slipstream, quite bad in terms of the aero wash. So he's quite close. You can see there. Don't know if he's close enough to have a move. He's going to sink it in there, didn't he?
Here we go, southern loop, into the loop they go. Oh, he thought about it, this Skeetsy.
He tried. I think he'll be setting him up there. He tried that there, and it was quite an aggressive move on his part, but a very good one. And I think now he's tried it once, he knows what to expect, and now he'll be thinking under that helmet, what can I do? How can I put Morales under pressure and have another go? Maybe in a slightly different way, I would take it, but yeah, he's got some speed at the moment, that's for sure.
Penrose in front of Morales, Skeets behind, but those two have a lot of laps around this Teretonga circuit, and of course Morales racing it for the first time. Into the elbow and out. Let's take a look at some action from Skeets and Morales. Here's the move up the inside, Brendan.
Oh, very close. He was, yeah, that's one thing with jumping from Formula Fords to this championship. Obviously having a front and a rear wing on the car is a big change, and you've got to understand where the edge of the wing is. He's very close to touching the back of Morales.
So Hedge recovering, or at least getting optimal in terms of his setup, because he's going quicker and catching just slightly.
Yeah, just like I said, Jonathan, I think maybe his tyres are set to come on just a little bit later. Oh, obviously, look at that. What an absolute flyer of a lap.
54.1 then from Hedge, and that's why the gap is coming down, because he's going quicker than the man leading. Here we go, Abel and Mason going at it. Abel trying to defend as they go down towards the southern loop. Again, the outside move. Mason looks to it and then thinks better of it. Jigs back to the inside. Mason proved at Highlands that he wasn't afraid to overtake. Abel said after the first day of testing, oh, I can't overtake in this car. But Mason proved the opposite.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very strong driver, super quick. Had a couple of little issues at the first round there, but kept himself composed and obviously, yeah, made some absolute stonking moves.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Josh Mason. His dad was out here for the first round, has flown back to the UK, and a lot of interest in the UK for the next big name to come through, single-seaters. And Mason could be one of those drivers, team engineer, and one of the most experienced and effective engineers in New Zealand.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave Vasalko, he's a good friend of mine, actually, and he was my engineer, yes, when I came second behind Lando Norris.
There you go.
Here we go. Look at them go side by side.
Oh, come on, Josh. Let's have a go.
Josh Mason trying everything he can to get around the outside there. Just not enough grip for him this time round.
UK versus America, as it has been for over 60 years here at Teretonga. Graham Hill, Danny Sullivan, just to name a few, have all raced here. One American, one Brit. And here we go again, and Penrose has caught right up.
Yeah, 2 to go. This is getting tight. I think Jacobs really used the most of his tyres here and made himself vulnerable to Josh.
Well, this is going to be fun. Last lap then, the leaders, you're not missing anything at the front. In fact, Wirtz has even gone quicker because he's now got a 1.1 second lead over Hedge, so he's in control of this race. But will Mason make a move, and will Penrose catch them both before the end of it? They go into the loop for the last time, the Retco loop, and Abel trying to hold on ably at the moment, but Penrose catching quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Jacob did a fantastic job to get it through there. I think for him now, he just needs to make sure he keeps it tidy, and he should have it all covered. But for him now, all he's thinking about is getting a good run out of that hairpin over the back there as they make their way through the ITM brickyard down to the elbow.
And now Morales also catching up as well, just behind Penrose. So a great battle, but it's going to be Charlie Wirtz and chip off the old block as Alexander Wirtz, I'm sure, is watching. His mum's in the grandstands, but Charlie Wirtz wins his first race here in New Zealand. And now comes Jacob Abel to take third place. Callum Hedge crosses the line in second, and Abel does it, holding off Mason admirably. Penrose behind him. And then comes Morales, but good racing throughout. Just the first of 3 races, but let's celebrate with the man they know as Charlie Wirtz. Confirmation of the result then, Charlie Wirtz for M2 competition and a 1-2 as Callum Hedge takes second. Jacob Abel, the first of the Kiwi Motorsport men, in third. Then Mason, Penrose, Morales in 6th place. Liam Skeets, 7th. And Ryder Quinn in 8th position. Ryan Sheehan in 9th. Chloe Chambers rounding out the top 10 for Giles Motorsport.
P3 Jacob Abel, that was a pretty intense last maybe 10 laps of that.
Yeah, we'll take it for sure. I mean, it's no secret that we were lacking pace a little bit. The 2 leaders definitely checked out from us, so definitely a little bit to work on. But yeah, we'll take the 3rd place. It's good for us, good points. So yeah, looking forward to qualifying again and 2 more races tomorrow.
What do you make your performance out there?
Well, I thought I was pretty consistent. Just it was an even start. Just old mate got around the outside of me at the first corner, and then once you get behind someone in one of these cars, it's pretty hard to pass. So congrats to him, and I look forward to doing it again tomorrow.
Congratulations, Charlie.
Yeah, thank you very much. I mean, we got the start that we wanted. We weren't so happy after quali, but finally we got Callum at the start. It was honestly much more difficult to start here. I think the track is maybe a bit less grippy, so we had to manage the clutch a lot more. So I wasn't sure going into the start that I'll get a good one. I could have gone a really bad one or a really good one. I wasn't sure at all. Luckily, it was on the good side. And then after, from there on, it was just managing up my pace, not to keep pushing because Callum was quite close behind. I could see him. He was fully in my mirrors. My mirrors are full of the white and blue of Callum's car. So yeah, happy to win, and hopefully we can keep this momentum in the next races.
Hi, my name is David Morales. I'm from South Florida and I am 19. I think my greatest strength is my willpower to get back up, to get right back at it, because I mean, that's kind of what I've always learned, so just to always get back up. My dad grew up in New York, and when he was a kid, he always just kind of liked to street race. So he was like, you know what, when I get a son, I'm gonna do the real deal and make him actually race. So I ended up doing F4 in 2021, and just the quality of driver that you get from driving in Europe is way different than in the States. I mean, it really, really teaches you just to get down and dirty with it. Like, because some of the tracks that you race in England are either really, really tight, they have bumps, holes. I mean, actually, well, no, definitely no holes, but tons of bumps everywhere. And it's always really, really, really ridiculously close racing, no matter what track you're at, except if you're at like Silverstone. But that's the only one. And other than that, I mean, it just really, because out of 20 cars on a grid, each car is going to be at least like all the way to 20 is 7/10 only. So that just shows you how close everybody is and how hard it is to make it. But Formula One is just worldwide right now. It is crazy what they're doing. Everybody, like, you could even say like 5 years ago, you say Formula One, nobody has any clue what you're talking about. Now you say Formula One, now they know every driver on the grid. They maybe even have a shirt, and it's like completely taken over America, which I'm, you know, as a driver, I'm really, really happy about, because I used to have to tell people, yeah, I race cars, and they're like, oh, that's kind of weird. I don't really know anybody that races cars, so, or they didn't even know what F1 was or IndyCar. I think what TRS kind of provides is a really, really great experience. It's a learning experience, first and foremost, and then it's kind of like a team bonding, and it really shows you things that you kind of carry along with you for your entire career. And this kind of molds, like TRS itself, just molds that into you as a driver, and especially N2 too, which I'm very thankful for, to be, you know, with this team, and for the things that they've already been teaching me. So it's been really, really nice to be with them.
Coming up, she's the best in the world at slalom. Chloe Chambers takes on the best in a challenge. We've got race 2 from Sunday morning.
Hi, my name is Chloe Chambers. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was born in Guangzhou in China, and I was adopted when I was 11 months old by my two parents. My dad is British, born Essex in England, and then my mom is from Garland, Texas, which is right near Dallas. My dad never raced. He doesn't like to say he raced. He was more just an amateur car lover who did track days and autocross just for fun. I became interested in that from, you know, just watching Formula One, going with him to the track and to his autocross days, and being around all the other people who had their cool cars and everything. So I thought it was really fun, and I wanted to get more involved in it than just watching my dad and helping him change his tires. So I set the record for the fastest vehicular slalom, 50 cones or 50 markers. This was set in August 2020 in New Jersey. You know, Porsche had given me a lot of support in doing the record. Porsche Cars North America had supplied cars. They brought a film crew out to make that video that went onto their YouTube. They helped me with all the publicity and everything, and you know, they rented an entire airport for me to go and set the record. You know, we even had like the Guinness World Record guy in the suit there, and so it was a pretty cool production, and you know, definitely something very unique that I had never experienced before. The FT60 is a fantastic car to race with people. I mean, you know, you can race super close wheel to wheel with people around corners. You can stay side by side with each other for a really long time at certain tracks. Following each other is not too bad. It has a pretty good pull in the draft. It's most of the fun for me comes from, you know, doing those braking moves, or, you know, just staying side by side for a while, because it's, you know, these cars handle really well doing that.
American Chloe Chambers got a chance to show her skills alongside Brie Morris of New Zealand and Kiwi rally stars Emma Gilmore and Hayden Padden.
is your grid for race 2. And so a little bit of a turnaround sees Ryan Sheehan take his first ever pole for the TRS series, alongside him Ryder Quinn. Then comes Liam Skeets and already a winner, James Penrose, the 2 Kiwis alongside. Josh Mason is 5th, Jacob Abel is 6th and has his tail up after a podium. Then come the big guns, Callum Hedge 7th, Charlie Wirtz in 8th position, having won last time out. David Morales and Chloe Chambers, 9th and 10, the 2 Americans. Then Thomas McClellan of Australia and Lucas Pacori of Brazil. Bree Morris, I just mentioned there, in 13th position, and she is on the all-wets.
Radio, the grid is...
Away we go then, and a good start from Ryder Quinn. He got a much better start, and it looks as though Chloe Chambers is slow off the line, but she's got going again, so too Bree Morris. But look at Ryder Quinn round the outside on Ryan Sheehan, and Penrose looking for a way round the loop. Can you go round the outside? I asked you this yesterday.
I think James is in a good spot here right now. There's a lot of grip on the outside there, but as the track dries up...
Well, Ryder's got away well, but now the wet patches start to fly up. You see the rooster tails. Penrose gets a good start. Skeets is alongside Abel. Yeah. Skeets trying to sneak through.
Everybody tiptoeing their way around at the moment. You can see just trying to find how much grip they've got available. Where is the water? And you can see there's still some spray out there.
I tell you what, Ryder Quinn definitely channeling his inner Tony, because his grandfather is absolutely a devil caremaker, and he loves to take risks, and that's what his grandson is doing today, as the wet weather absolutely playing a part as Chambers goes round. No, Morales, excuse me, very similar colours, and damage to Morales' car, broken suspension. Brendan, that is game over.
That's absolutely game over for him. Yeah, you can see the left rear's collapsed on him. A little bit of contact there with, I think it was young Tom McLennan, but he's making his way back into the pits.
So, Ryder Quinn continues to lead and is way ahead as the battle for second place starting to heat up. Penrose all over the back of the orange and black. Let's take another look at the start again. Brendan, you take it away.
Yeah, look, a great launch off the line by Ryder. You can see the 2 cars at the back there just still going nowhere.
That's Chambers who got stuck there, but she got going again. Here's another look at the elbow, and here's that incident.
Yeah, I think you can see Tom's just clipped the back of the number 77, and he's lost his front wing and collapsed the rear suspension. Really, really unfortunate.
And that's disaster for Morales.
None of these drivers have driven in this condition yet,
right.
So they're all exploring the limits. Every single lap is a new condition for them now, and really interested to see what happens in the next few laps as the tyres start to go off and get some more dig.
Went fastest lap. A 1 minute 00.2, and we're starting to settle down. Billy, we come back to you in a minute, but we'll let the back to the action for a second. Skeets well, looks like Callum Hedge starting to make his way forward, and I thought he would. Hedge looking for a good result here. He's only a few points off second in the championship. He started the weekend in 5th. He's up to 4th now in the championship anyway, on 84 points, only 1 behind Abel, so that's his target.
Yeah, absolutely. He's right in behind him now, and you can see, I think the first couple of laps there, Callum was a bit cautious, and then he's just driven around the outside of young Charlie Wirtz there around the loop. A fantastic move.
Here's another look at Bree doing a bit of lawn mowing.
Yeah, a little bit wide, maybe a little lock up there, I'd say, just trying to find the limits.
Liam Skeets looking really racy.
Looking really racy, Jonathan. He's all over the back of him there. I think he's placing the car in a better spot at the moment, and you can see he's got a good run out of that last corner.
I think Ryan Sheehan's recovered from a poor start because he's second place, and he's actually closing in now on Quinn. No surprise then, 59.0 from Ryan Sheehan from Texas. Fastest man out there at the moment as Skeets does the business on Penrose. Quinn still holding the lead. Sheehan, Skeets, Penrose, Abel, Hedge up to 6th. Wirtz is 7th. Mason, Chambers, Pacori, Morris, McClellan and Morales out of this race. Second in the championship. It's going to be topsy-turvy again, but we've got the feature race to come. Here comes Sheehan on the outside. Surely you can't make a pass there unless you really get your foot in.
Oh, this is going to be a tight one. It's going to be a traction race, and he's done it.
Oh, what a move round the outside. How often have you done that?
Oh, never. That's absolutely textbook. What a perfect move.
Jacob Abel with the fastest lap, but a sensational pass by the young Texan. Boy, that was gunslinger stuff. And Ryan Sheehan brimming leading with confidence. That was excellent racing. Good racecraft.
What a move, what a move. And the battle between the two boys there is, as we have a look at the replay.
Brendan, you take this away because you just don't do this at the elbow.
I honestly didn't expect that. That was a really, really sharp move. You can see he was in the wet line on the outside there for a bit, but then once they got to the traction race, he was on the dry part of the track and obviously had a little bit of a puddle there, but apart from that, some good traction and was just managed to drive away with it.
Yeah, and to be fair, Quinn gave him plenty of space, and that's important too. But now look at Sheehan going. He's pulling away here. We'll take a look at the lap times on this one because he really is going well. Michael Scott, his engineer, will be pleased with that. And they know each other quite well because Michael's been in the States. And fastest lap. And here they come. Hedge on the way. 58.8 now by Abel. And Hedge making a move. Nicely done. Hedge is going good. Look at this. Up to second place. Callum Hedge.
What a pass around the outside. That's a very good move around there. And these conditions, it's absolutely perfect for it.
I think this is going to be a very interesting battle because Quinn is going backwards. Billy, I'm guessing you're going back to the States after racing here in New Zealand at home. What are you going to be doing this year? And this is going to help you wherever you go.
Yeah, for sure. At the moment, I'm currently studying mechanical engineering, motorsport engineering at Purdue University up in Indianapolis, and yeah, this it's fantastic. Toyota Gazoo racing and some of my brilliant partners have we've been able to put these 2 rounds together. What a move! What
a great move, Callum Hedge. Cool as you like. Takes the lead of race 2, and boys, I'll let you both talk about that. That was again top draw.
Wow, yes. Look at the rain coming down. Reason. Here we go, all right. You can see Callum, just how much aggression he's got. You can see how confident he is with the car and letting it move around like that. But now I think I'm interested to see what it's going to be like as the conditions worsen. Some of the people who have looked after their tyres a bit better, maybe Charlie Wirtz.
Well, I'm just wondering about Quinn, because look, you can see he's being hounded by Skeets here, and I think Quinn's tyres have already gone. Fastest lap of that one, Callum Hedge, 57.7, but I think it's going to get slower again as, look at this, Ryder Quinn under pressure from Skeets. Look at this, side by side, I love it. Inches apart, and Quinn holds on. Nicely done by the young Australian.
Oh, look at the rain coming down.
Well, luckily they are all on the wets, but this is not easy at all. Ryder Quinn doing a great job of hanging on to third for the moment. How does the car feel, and how much confidence do you have with the grip on wets?
You have absolutely none. Yeah, well, that's the thing. So when you're out there coming into turn 1, you can see it's not quite as wet as it is over the back of the circuit. So you come in there, you got plenty of grip, and then you make your way down into Castrol and over the far side of the circuit there, and there's so much spray coming off it. It becomes so much slipperier, and the tyre gets nice and hot in the first half of the lap, cools off in the second part of the lap in the wet weather, but it can't do too many heat cycles like that.
But now it is fully wet again. Hedge doing a good job. And if you were in his position, would you just take the pace down, or does that actually not help?
Well, in the conditions at the moment, Jonathan, the track is wet enough that you're not going to wear the tyre out too much.
If I've learned one thing about Sheehan, he's a sensible racer. He'll take options and opportunities where they are, but not do anything too crazy, as Wirtz is moving forward, up to 5th now behind Skeets. Yep. Perfect. So now, can Wirtz reel in Quinn, I wonder, in the time remaining? He's certainly got enough time, and he's starting to get used to the conditions as they all are. Let's just hope it stays steady, but it's going to change again, isn't it?
It is, Jonathan. Yeah, you can see they're running the wide line around the loop now, so it must be pretty wet down there.
Yeah, it's pretty slippy. No question about it. Wirtz, though, looking very comfortable out there. There's the gap between himself and Quinn. Whoa, Wirtz absolutely sideways there. If Remus didn't get an advert then, they will go soon, because he was completely sideways but controlled it nicely.
He's really closed in on the back of young Ryder Quinn there, and Ryder's still holding his own so well with all that pressure there. You can see a couple of laps ago there, young Charlie tried to have a go on Ryder and composed himself well and held on. So, yeah, look, I don't know what's going to happen in these next couple of laps, Jonathan, but I can see...
The last lap board has been displayed.
Last lap, should I say.
So last lap, and now it's really important for Ryan Sheehan that he holds off Quinn, because, yeah, exactly right. Wirtz is catching Quinn, but Quinn is catching Sheehan. And, hell, Hedge is out on his own, a massive lead of over 6 seconds. This is an absolutely accomplished race for Callum Hedge, and one he'll remember. If he does take the title this year, he'll look back to Teretonga and race 2 and go, that was the one I made, where you're expected to finish in the top 6 but not expected to win.
Yeah, wow, Jonathan. He hasn't got it across the line yet, but from 7th place on the grid, that is a very, very impressive drive in an incredibly tricky condition.
He puts it down to wearing these cool Crocs. He's a cool cucumber, this Callum Hedge.
He is. He's. I've seen those Crocs of his. I reckon it must be a couple of tenths. That's what he said anyway, but...
He'll get some more gimlets on those cars, but here he comes. The applause is there. Callum Hedge takes victory at Teretonga Race 2, and that will move him closer to the championship lead. Hedge wins. Ryan Sheehan of America comes second, and Australia's Ryder Quinn takes third place, and a very, very good fourth place for Wirtz, Charlie Wirtz, winner last time out, and that is a good result for both he and Hedge. Let's take a look. One thing I can tell you is the results. Callum Hedge with the win, and Ryan Sheehan for Giles Motorsport gets second place. Best result of the season for him. Ryder Quinn on the podium, good to see that too. Charlie Wirtz 4th, Liam Skeets, a good run by him in 5th, Jacob Abel 6th, Penrose 7th, Josh Mason 8th, Chloe Chambers 9th, Lucas Mercuri did get past Bree Morris, who finishes 11th for Giles, and Thomas McClellan had to do that drive-through, and Morales, sadly, did not finish the race.
Ryder Quinn, I think his smile says it all. Second podium of the Castrol sort of FR Series, but that was a hell of a challenging race.
Far out. The team warned me that if I pushed too hard at the start, the wets would go, and that's exactly what happened. Pulled a sizable gap at the start. Thought, oh yeah, we're on here, and then no, it sort of fell off, and then it was just a battle. I'm thankful that the water came, because if it didn't, then we would have been a whole lot of strife. But no, look, second podium. It's good. Thank you.
Congratulations, your podium. How good? It's all that hard work.
I mean, it's not a win, but I mean, it's as close as you can get, P2.
When you went out and you're on wets and then suddenly it's dry, what were your first thoughts about, what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I mean, about 30 minutes before we went out, it was pouring, and then by lap 1, it was, pretty dry. So, I mean, it was pretty much just a dry line out there and kind of managing the wear on the wets. But then it started to rain in the middle of the race, so had to adapt, and yeah, it was a good race.
Overtaking on the outside. Wow, nice move, brother.
Yeah, she was a bit difficult, that one. A little bit less air wash, and I got a little bit of wheel spin on the start, so I had my work cut out for me. But then when the track started to dry, I knew that was my moment to push. That was when I was faster than the other cars. So I was just either win it or bin it, to be honest.
Coming up, we meet the young Texan with his eyes on the American FR Championship and our feature race, the Spirit of a Nation Trophy.
I'm Ryan Sheehan. I'm 17 from Austin, Texas. It's a really condensed season, so we're preparing for the FR Americas Championship in 2023. So getting to drive a really similar car for 5 rounds in 5 weeks is, I think, really advantageous to getting a head start to that season. Well, we race with Kiwi Motorsports in the U.S., so we hear a lot of things about the drivers and the competitiveness of the series here. And so it was always something that we thought about, and now that international drivers are allowed back in, and it kind of times perfectly with moving up from F4, we wanted to join, and yeah, we've heard it's a great series, so we're looking forward to it. Yeah, we're running with Giles Motorsports here, really just because he was my engineer last year with Kiwi. He worked for them in the States, and so we just thought to keep the continuity, we might as well just stay with Steven and keep working with him and keep the good juju going. Just talking to people in Austin, they actually know what Formula One is. I could even name a few drivers. They talk about going out to different events, different races, different concerts out at COTA. And so I think just motorsports has just exploded in the US. And it's not just Formula One. I think people have started to follow sports car racing and IndyCar. But yeah, Formula One has definitely exploded everywhere in the US. I'd say the formation lap is more stressful than the actual race itself. Because you're thinking about everything. You're looking at all your temps. You're worried about getting your tires, your brakes up to temp. But yeah, once you line up and you're gone, you're not really nervous anymore. The second the red lights go out, you're good. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think I could win. As a racing driver, you always want to win. You're always aiming to win. And it's not really worth showing up if you're coming to get third.
Let's take a closer look at that grid for this feature race. And as you see, the two big contenders, Wirtz and Hedge. Hedge says he's got to make the start. Penrose, a winner. Skeets, very confident indeed after a good weekend. Then Abel and Mason, the Brit and the American. 7th, Ryan Sheehan on the podium last time. Morales back for more, and he is going to be amped for sure. Ryder Quinn looking good. He's been on the podium this weekend. McClellan in 10th. Further down, Brie Morris and Chloe Chambers, the American and the Kiwi. And at the back, it's the Brazilian. Alkalites, away we go, and it is Wirtz away. And that was a flyer from the Austrian. An absolutely superb start, and Callum Hedge is going to have to recalibrate. He said it was all about the start, and now he's got to rethink it, because that was a picture-perfect start by the Austrian.
Absolutely. Charlie Wirtz has already pulled a nice 4 or 5 car length gap there, and they must have had a fantastic warm-up procedure there, so a bit of action going on in the back of the pack there.
Good start from Brie Morris. She's already got past both McClellan and Fakori. Look at her go as we come round to the halfway point of the first lap, so she got a flyer as well. So the Kiwis, who said they can't fly? Penrose got a good way to getting a good start, but there is Brie Morris, 2 places up. She was very relaxed. She says, I'm amped up but relaxed, and that's exactly what she showed at the start of that one. Bit of a lock up at the elbow, and onto the main straight. Wirtz pulling away heavily.
Yep, he's got his head down and he's ready to absolutely fly. I think Jonathan, he knows he's got one goal here, and that's to win, and he's doing his best to start that thing off really well.
I think Callum Hedge is already probably thinking about how he's to defend his position rather than worry about Wirtz, because he's got Ryder Quinn in 3rd place behind him, and already some overtaking as McClellan comes back on Brie. That's a good move by the Australian from Brisbane. Oh, for Corey! The Brazilian into the rainforests almost, but gets it back together. And there is Penrose ahead of Mason. Sheehan behind him. Then comes Ryder Quinn. Skeets it is in 3rd place. Abel it is in 4th. Into the elbow. Key corner this though, Brendan. You've got to get straight as quickly as possible and get on the gas.
Yep, you're absolutely right there. Oh, something slowing for Penrose.
Now, was that a mistake or... Well, we'll soon find out. Either way, fastest lap, Charlie Wirtz, 54.8. And also Penrose slowing.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening.
Well,
there.
Morris is back up to speed, so she, whatever happened there, she might have come together with Penrose. I don't know. Anyway, either way, they're both still circulating. Wirtz, though, pulling away at the front. Let's have a look. Brendan, what do you see?
Yeah, having a look down here, looking at the yellow car. Oh, big lock-up for Brie, yeah, big lock-up.
How's that front left going to feel after that?
Big flat spot. She's going to feel that.
Just a quick update on Brie. I saw the big lock up into the last corner, saw the car come past afterwards. Doesn't look like there's any damage, just looks purely like a lock up. So, as Brendan said, a long race for her ahead.
So let's keep an eye on Morales. It's an important race for him. He needs points. He started the weekend 2nd in the championship, and he's just gone backwards since. And in comes Penrose. Now, what do you see here, Brendan?
Yeah, I'm not too sure, really. I think the race is really over for him.
Yeah.
You know, the most important thing is that they can try and fix the issue and get him back out there.
Let's head down to Andrew.
So sounds like it may be a clutch problem. They're just getting the rear cover off the car now. It's a real shame for James, as we know he's had a lot of pace this weekend.
Let's just take a look at this race start, Jonathan.
Great start from Wirtz.
An absolute slingshot from him, yeah, and then Callum's just had to jump in behind. You can see James fell back a couple of spots there, and yeah, that's when Jacob Abel was able to get through.
In the day, and of course he's racing in the United States, and certainly Liam Skeets has been quite vociferous about the fact that he wants to go there and try to get to Indy. And now, good battle here between the Brit and, well, these two seem to be finding each other on These two seem to find themselves on track, and that was a great pass from Mason.
Yeah, absolutely. Good run onto that front straight in the slipstream, pulls to the outside, and Jacob Abel couldn't do anything about it and just had to concede the position.
These two have been at it since, the start of the season. They've been literally on track almost in every race.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a magnet there, and I think they're sort of stuck together, and I can imagine through the whole season they'll be neck and neck through everything.
I've got a feeling Mason's going to come good as the season goes on. He's been very aggressive. So here we go, things settling down, still a long way to go, almost a complete race length to go. 20 laps in all, the engineers watching on as we do, and it really is a case of who dares wins, and although Hedge is cool, so too is Charlie Wirtz, to be fair. Already a champion in his own right, he's got a lot of experience as Charlie, and of course has grown up around racing all his life. His father, a Formula One star and a super Toyota guy too in his wet days. Now, this is as close as Hedge has been. Now, take me through it, Brendan. Where and when?
Well, interesting, Jonathan. You watch this coming down into turn one. I think it's going to be interesting. You can see that Callum keeps the car quite tight, and what he's doing there is he's trying to allow the fresh air to get onto his front wing. It keeps the car more stuck to the ground, glued, if you will, and so it's just quite interesting how he gained another 10th or so on that last lap and another 10th on this lap too.
You get the feeling if Hedge gets into a Barney, into a fight with Wirtz, that Mason's only going to capitalise on that. 2 seconds off the lead, and look how close Hedge is now.
Yeah, very close. Wirtz is doing a very good job to compose himself and keep it together. He's a fantastic young driver, as we can see, and Hedge is not making it easy for him and pushing him all the way. So very close, the closest he's ever been with 0.4 of a second now, and I think it's time for him to have a real good push and try and make a move, see if he can find something.
Well, Mason's got a lot of experience, and it was interesting to see, looking at the sort of form guide, just who had done what, and out of the drivers, Wirtz and Mason seem to have got more laps under their belts than anybody else in terms of international racing, because he has been all over both Britain and Europe.
Yeah, not quite close enough, but that's definitely the closest he's ever been, and I think he's definitely got Liam under pressure now.
Well, if Liam Skeets was looking for experience of international racing, he's getting it. He's got Callum Hedge in front, and he's got a man who's got bags of experience of European racing behind him. James, his father, will be watching, I'm sure, back in the UK now. He was here for the first weekend, but I'm sure the fingers are crossed as they come through the ITM Brickyard and down towards the elbow. Skeets, nice and smooth. Good work. Doesn't show the pressure at the moment, but you can see now he's surely got a bit of a slipstream.
Yeah, he's very close here. I think he's going to have the opportunity to pull out. Which way is he going to be able to go?
Well, which way do you go? It's a tough one, isn't it? He's gone to the outside, but now he goes back to the inside. It's almost like you're trying to force the guy to go wide, and that's what he's done. Skeets covers the line, but goes wide, and that's going to be slower.
Yep, absolutely. He's trying to rattle him, and as a driver, he's in the best place possible now. So just trying to choose a direction to go at the end of the straight is going to be the most important thing, and forcing the car around the outside of him is a very hard move, but it's possible.
This is good racing by Joss Mason. He chose to jink to the outside. Skeets then had to react, and that meant on the exit of the loop that Mason had a bit more of an advantage. And here he comes towards the elbow. Not close enough this time to make the lunge, though.
No, very close going through the elbow there, just stuck underneath the gearbox.
To give everyone another perspective, as we're talking about the cars coming over to this side of the track, down the straight, the wind is blowing perfectly over to the right, so you can see the way they're tucking themselves in, getting as close as they can to the wall to just give them that little bit extra time.
Here we go, Mason's as close as he's been, and the fastest lap, surprise, surprise, 54.3 from Mason. Here he comes, he's looking to the outside again. Skeets will have to defend. Follow my leader. Great overhead shot through the loop. Really shows you and illustrates just what it's like to go through there. He's got to be patient though, hasn't he? You only get one real chance, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to show your nose too early here. You've got to be quite careful. You can see Stephen Giles and Michael Scott and the team watch on.
Yeah, Tina Larson watching on, of course, from Kiwi Motorsport too, but there's a good camaraderie between the two teams. Mason pushing on now, come on.
I know, he's eager to have a go, isn't he? Keep an eye on Liam Skeet's helmet. You can see him dipping his head sideways there, looking in the mirrors.
Yeah.
He knows he's there. He knows he's ready to pounce as well, so that's very close. He's going to try again.
Yeah,
He'll definitely go. He's going to cover his line for sure.
Here we go.
Here we go.
He's looking to the inside. Well, that was one go.
Yeah, he tried. He's trying. He just can't quite get close enough there to have a really good run around the outside, but he's really got Liam looking in the mirrors. You can see he dips his head to the inside before he turns the car in.
Oh, somebody slowed dramatically. Hope that's not Hedge.
Radio, caution, slow car, turn 5.
It's Morales. Ugh. Well, if it wasn't for bad luck, he wouldn't have any. David Morales of the USA out of this.
Turn 5, drivers right.
So now, will they bring out safety, I wonder? Because that could change everything with 2 to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yellow flag there. And yeah, I'd say if they brought the yellow flag out now, Jonathan, that would be the race over. But yeah, he's parked right off the line, right in the danger zone there. So I think I can only imagine that something will happen.
And here we go. Last lap now. Mason, if he's going to do it, it's time to do it. Josh, he goes to the outside. Liam still keeps his line. Stoically holding on, looking in the mirrors. Watching on. Pensive. Last lap. Verts for the win and to extend the lead in the championship. Hedge will head to Manfield right in his tailpipe. Skeets, though, putting on a great show here against a very experienced Josh Mason. Good result also for Abel, another top 5 if he holds on to it. Here comes Charlie Verts. He's going to extend his lead. Teretonga may be a place he's not raced before, but he has made it his own. Verts wins again in New Zealand and will extend his lead in the championship. Callum Hedge does a good job of following him home to take another valuable podium, and it's Verts and Hedge, the leading men so far in this championship of 2023. Charlie Verts wins again and extends his lead in the championship. Here is the result, M2 competition with a clean sweep. Verts with the win, Hedge second, Skeets in third. Mason in fourth for Kiwi, likewise Abel fifth for Kiwi, Ryan Sheehan sixth, Ryder Quinn in seventh place, Chloe Chambers eighth, Thomas McClellan in ninth position, and Lucas Pacuri rounds out the top 10. Bree Morris 11th, Penrose sadly having to make that pit stop in 12th, and David Morales sadly coming to a stop, but not affecting the race.
P3 in the final race, the feature race of the weekend, Liam Skeets. Before I even ask you about that, our team have judged you driver of the day.
Thank you. I'm stoked to have that. Not really sure how it works, but yeah, I'm happy.
The experts know, that's all we'll say. Now, that was another great podium for you. What was good about it for you?
I think that I worked for it hard makes it just that little bit sweeter. You know, Josh Mason behind me was in my mirrors for most of the race, so to have held him off and keep P3, yeah, I'm stoked.
That start by Charlie was mega, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I thought my start was pretty good, and then he just disappeared. And then I thought I was a couple of tenths a lap quicker, but it's just not enough to get close enough and actually make a pass. You have to be around about 2 seconds. So it's a shame that you can't pass, but I tried my best.
Charlie Verts, that smile must feel good on.
Yeah, I can only be happy with this. I mean, we got good off the line, which we knew was the most important thing today. And then after, I think Callum was definitely very fast today, so I saw him in my mirrors the whole race, and I was just trying to keep my head down. Maybe I lacked a bit more pace compared to yesterday, so it's something to look at to improve. But we can only be happy, and I have to thank the whole M2 crew. They've worked really hard, and we've perfected, I think, the qualifying setup. So now my quali pace has been better, and that definitely helps. On these tracks where it's a bit more difficult to overtake, quali and starts is key.
So it's Charlie Wirtz who walks away as a winner and leads the championship as we head up the country to Manfield Circuit Chris Amon for round 3.